We're recording, but
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hi, my name is Partha Srinivasan. I'm from Channel Buzz Middle East.
Yeah.
And we're in conversation with Mr. Santosh Varghese, who's the General Manager for Middle East and Africa here at Toshiba Gulf. Thank you for meeting with us today.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Toshiba have a legacy of being around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But in the Middle East, when and where did it all start for you?
Well, the Toshiba Gulf Free Zone, we set up this office here in 1997. Initially, it was to cater to the Gulf region. It's based out of UAE. We were focusing on Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and Bahrain. And as the business grew, we started expanding into Middle East region, that is the Levant, North Africa. And now, as of last year, from October 2011, we cover the entire region of Africa for our digital electronics products.
Does that include South Africa as well?
Yeah, it includes South Africa also.
Because I know a lot of companies make that distinction that South Africa is a different market.
Generally, this region is always attached to Europe, so it's always called Europe, Middle East and Africa. So as this concept of emerging countries is coming in, so they're looking into growth markets within the Gulf, within the Middle East, within Africa. So that's why we have now completely disengaged from the Europe part of it, and there's a separate focus coming in. And this office is now, as of 2011, October, it's become the MEA headquarters for Middle East and Africa.
So you cover Middle East and Africa.
Yes.
And this is for all your product lines?
Well, Toshiba is a corporation which has multiple products. What I'm referring to is for digital electronics, digital products and services business, and also for the home appliance business.
Right, because as I was walking around your showroom earlier, I saw, you have transistor radios, you have two-in-ones, well now technically they're not so much two-in-ones as they're all-in-ones, but music units.
Yes.
You also have laptops and white goods,
Yes.
but you also have these LED lighting.
Yeah, that's right.
So all of these product lines are now very, very relevant to the region.
Yes.
How do you approach each market differently with such a diversified product line?
Because we have different divisions, that's how it is also set up in headquarters. Like the smart LED lights come under the smart infrastructure business which Toshiba is doing, and Toshiba has got a lot of technology which can build up smart community across the world. And if you take the LED lights, we were the sponsor of the Louvre in France. The complete lighting is done by Toshiba, courtesy of Toshiba. So we see this region slowly developing into green concept. So most of the things will be happening, and the demand for LED lights will keep on going. So we also have other infrastructure business which is coming up. We're also into nuclear business. So part of the deals which happened for UAE, Toshiba is also involved in the nuclear plant setup.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Coming back to consumer electronics, which is, I think, probably a large portion of the business in the region here, at least for the Middle East, I know that.
Yeah.
You have a whole range of display products. You have some really interesting laptops and stuff. Take us through that. How has Toshiba evolved in the region with that product range?
See, Toshiba is a pioneer in mobile computing. Way back in 1985, Toshiba had this vision that mobile computers will be the dominant mobile computing form factor when desktops was there. So only in few markets Toshiba had desktops, but in other markets, just in Japan we had desktops and partly in Europe. But from 1985, our engineers had the vision that this is going to be the form factor for computing. And as it evolved in the mid-2000, from 2004, we started seeing the mobile computer, that's a notebook, slowly cannibalizing sales of the desktops. And then as the processing power and a lot of other features which a desktop could offer was started to offer it in the laptop, so the demand again grew up. So as of today, the notebooks have overtaken the desktops. There's also a talk that tablets are going to cannibalize notebooks, but I don't think that's going to ever happen, because notebook is a gadget which makes people productive, and tablet is a media consumption. You just have to use it for accessing data. It's a kind of a relaxed kind of gadget, right? It can't make a people productive on it. So if you want to make it productive, you need to have a notebook and the processing power and a lot of things. So what we see is there is a demand for tablet that's going to be for media consumption, and for content creation, you need to have a notebook.
So you're saying that even for content creation, a lot of these companies are, they still use desktops because, for that kind of processing power. You're saying that that will eventually come down into a notebook as well?
Yeah, that's already coming up. Within the next 2 months, we're going to have workstations in a notebook form factor. Toshiba is going to release its workstations in a notebook form factor. So there's no need to have a desktop, but there is need to have a notebook computer along with the tablet. Tablets could be an add-on device which could help you to ease out your mobile computer.
Okay. What about the all-in-ones? Because I've seen that you have a very sleek all-in-one sitting on there. Because that also then comes onto the desktop space.
Correct. All-in-one perfectly fits in the desktop category. But what's happening is that's going to be a family PC. In a home where family wants to sit together, watch something on the YouTube, or these days it's all going to be downloads, right? Download a movie, watch it there either on your TV or on this. So that's going to be a family PC concept. So you see this kind of concept evolving around the world, where families sit in front of a PC to watch things, not going to be an individual kind of setup. So when we see slowly things evolving up, for people to use, move away from desktop, but still have the desktop form factor as a family PC for people to.
I recently did a personal blog a while ago about something called home theater PCs, which is something that most geeks now reach out to.
Yeah.
So whether it's converting their TV or getting a projector,
Yes.
but connecting a desktop so you can consume all the data or whatever you want,
Yeah.
consume your media, TV, whatever it is, and project it through to your large format TV.
Okay.
How do you see that as a comparison to your all-in-one?
No, that product which you're talking about, people were using desktops, but Toshiba had a product already in say 2008. We have a product called Cosmio. Cosmio means my universe. It's got everything a computer geek won't have it, be it gaming, storing all your videos, photographs, whatever you want to have it. It's got dual hard disk where you can mirror and rate the hard disk. So everything was possible in that gadget. We still have that gadget. And during, I think in 2010, we had the 3D version of it, and it was glassless 3D. You didn't have to wear a glass. So those evolution already happened, right? So it's still people who are into high-tech gaming, who are into collecting a lot of data and collection of movies and for pictures and do a lot of editings on them. They still have a gadget from Toshiba, which still we used to have 3% share, but as the demand slowly is easing out into different other products, we still do 1% of our total notebook business on these high-end categories.
What about your display products? I mean, things have evolved over the last, if you see, they've dramatically changed over the last couple of years. What are the things that Toshiba have come out in the recent past to keep up with those changes?
The first one of the biggest innovation was the glassless 3D. But unfortunately, the 3D concept did not catch up with the consumers, right? Maybe there were not much titles on 3D and things like that, so it did not catch up. But now it's coming up the high resolution, the 4K, 8K TVs, which is catching up. So you'll see a lot of products from Toshiba coming in. And as we move forward, gesture is going to be a good thing will revolutionize the way the people look at the TV. You don't need multiple gadgets or a remote. With your hand or your eye, you can gesture and change the channel, increase volumes, right? If it's a smart TV, you can ask it to go into different functions.
So using voice commands as well?
Yeah, voice also will be adding up to it.
Okay, so these features are already in some of your smart TVs available?
It will be coming in. Gesture, and part of it is there when we're going to launch. But you could see that gesture also in the notebook computing also. So that's going to be the trend in a few years. Or not even few years, just within a year.
Okay. You mentioned notebooks and tablets at the start of this. Are there any products coming in, or are there any products in the market right now that a person can walk into a store and say, I want to pick up one of those? So what are the latest products that Toshiba have to talk about?
Yeah, like I said, the notebook is going to be a dominant factor still, dominant computing gadget. We also think that there's going to be a new form factor which is going to evolve. So people don't have to switch between multiple gadgets. So that's one of these, it's called the hybrids.
Oh, the hybrids, yes.
Yeah. So this is basically a full-fledged notebook. When you want to get productive, you can use the full-fledged notebook. So when you want to access data, just pull it out. Yeah.
I hope it doesn't need two people in real life.
No, it doesn't. I'm sitting in a very different position. So you can access it as a a tablet. It's a 13-inch tablet. So you can access a tablet, and when you want to get into a notebook computing mode, get back here. And Toshiba is very good in its engineering design. We used to have tablets way back in 2005, right? So where you could, it was a swell kind of thing where you could swell it, fold it, and put it. So that one had a high MTBF. I mean, the failure rates was very low when you keep on swelling it like this. The same way this one is also there, where when you use it as a touch, this thing holds it very properly.
Right.
Otherwise, what happens is when you do it like this, no,
right,
the keyboard is very light. So this is an excellent engineering piece here compared to the rest of the guys. So this is one of the form factors which we have launched now. This is
I noticed something about this. You're using this primarily as a keyboard and mouse docking.
Yes.
But all your accessories are on the screen.
Yes.
So
that's what we had another one which is called the slider, where all these accessories was on this side, and you could slide it and use it as a tablet.
Okay.
So that's one concept. This is the second concept, which is fueled by the Microsoft Slate concept. So this is now, many vendors have come in with this, and we see acceptance of this kind of form factor compared to the slider, which is there. So that's why this is the 11.6. We're coming up with a 13-inch one very shortly.
Okay.
So this you could see, put in a full-fledged TV. So this is another one where people can watch a full-fledged movie and things like that. So this is a 13-inch one.
It's actually a very nice, I hope you can see it here.
Yeah.
It's actually a very nice form factor.
Yeah.
Nice design as well.
Yes.
So
this will again keep the demand for the mobile computing going on.
there we go. Alright. So you're talking about hybrids, which will probably take over the combination of taking a tablet and a laptop and putting that
Because
together.
what we have seen the trend is that no more people are very possessive about the CPU speed or the operating system. It's about the user experience which drives it much more. So these are the things will fuel the reason for people to replace the older gadgets and keep on moving.
I also see a nice 7-inch tablet there, if you could show that to us.
Yeah, this will be launched by October 1st week.
So we can see a JITEX launch.
Yeah, this is one of the best in this category, right? We would be competing head-on with most of these 7-inch, which is, the market is cluttered with it. You know, anybody could go into China for $50 can get it. But Toshiba didn't make any compromise on this. This comes with a quad-core processor. It's got a GPS function, so people who are buying a GPS for 400 dirhams, they can use this as the GPS, and it's got the complete worldwide map on it. And that's computing power is more because it's got a quad core. So this is one of the best gadgets in the 7-inch category, which will really give run of the money for most of those $50 cheap tablets.
What's this tablet going to be called?
It's going to be called Excite 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
Excite 7.
Yeah.
We look forward to that.
Yeah.
And you have another product for us.
Yeah, this is the thinnest tablet or the lightest tablets now. Sorry, notebooks, laptop. Because thin and light is getting to be a major thing now in computing, because you need to have longer battery life, 8 hours plus, so that can last your whole working time.
Yes.
So that's going to be the real concept here. And people who are traveling, there's an ideal gadget, just 1 kg or 1.1 kg weight. So this will be the new trend in terms of people who want hardcore mobile computing. Thin and light, right? It gives you a full-fledged computing power. You can use the complete Core i3 to Core i7 CPU with this. 8 hours plus of battery life, and excellent. And we slowly will be bringing in the touch also into the screen.
Okay.
So this is another category where Toshiba has been very strong on. So as you see that we have a complete portfolio of product, right from the entry level. We're going to have the mid-range, and we got about 30-40 models which are there. So this is where the channel can really make money about. We don't focus only on entry level or cheap stuff. So they have a space, and if they're very clever and bring in more value addition in the way they sell, there's a lot of money in it.
Which is going to be my next question. I mean, you have a product for, I think, a product for every kind of need.
Yes.
Whether it's corporate, whether it's personal,
Yes.
or somebody in the middle, or
Yeah.
freelancer. How do you support your channel with so many variety of products? I mean, and how do you target which product needs to go where? So take us through your channel.
Our
strategy.
sales strategy is more on sell-out driven. We no more measured, we are not measured at all on how much we dump into the channel, how much of stocks you push into this channel. If the stocks move into the channel, our sales force are measured on how much is actually sold to the end consumer. That measures the market share. So that shows in the GfK who measures that. We the dominant player in this market with 25% in Saudi Arabia, about 18% in UAE. That's the two markets. So we focus on sell-out. So we categorize the channel into different categories. Who can do what kind of value addition can be put into different categories. So we look into those things. Then we also look into the channel health program. That's why we have the award-winning channel program called P4P. It's called the Profit for Performance.
Okay.
So this we incentivize based on the volume, based on the model mix, right, and also on the DOI. So if they're going to have a lot of inventory and it's sitting in their stock, we're not going to incentivize them. We incentivize them on the sell-out, how much they are able to sell out, what are the model mix. We encourage them to buy into the mid and high end. For example, this kind of product they get 3 times more than what they get on the entry level in terms of the incentives.
The 11.6 hybrid, this is a product that's been in the market for how long now?
It's just hardly 15 days.
Okay, 15 days. So you're basically incentivizing them?
Already. Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
Right. That's really good.
Yes.
You've recently just expanded operations. I mean, you told me as of 2011
Yeah.
you've incorporated all of Africa.
Yeah.
So what is your policy going into Africa? In terms of, because obviously it works on a whole different level compared to the Middle East.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Africa is a huge continent because the way the business is done in North Africa, the way it's done in South, East and West is completely different. So you have to have a different strategy for each of these segments, each of these countries. South Africa is, among all of them, is quite matured market. So however, there was no focus in terms of the volume, right? Because Middle East we do quite a big volume, more than 1 million plus in this Middle East region. So the economies of scale works along with us if they tie up with us. So we are able to have more negotiating power with the ODMs in terms of the kind of products which we need, right? So South Africa is a very highly matured market. There's a good distribution market. There's a very mature channel market. So that is there. So we have East Africa, which is another major market. Most of the East African channel has got some connections in Dubai in terms of having a warehouse or other kind of business. So some of them have offices here, so it helps us to talk to the management who are based here or also on the field there. And West Africa is a challenging market because there are a lot of grey importers getting cheap stuff and dumping it into those markets. So we have now launched the channel health program there, the P4P. So we should be seeing more channel confidence on our brands there in Toshiba.
Okay. In terms of the Middle East, you said that you're already running a lot of, you're running very healthy here.
Yes.
And touch wood, I think it's been growing year on year.
Yes.
Is there any particular country or any particular market in the Middle East that you would consider still an evolving market for you?
Yeah, for us, Iraq is one. We just now set up operation in Erbil through a distributor.
Okay.
That's one. Libya is now a growing market, right? So that's another part. Though it's part of North Africa, but it's more Arabic PCs which are going into.
Okay.
So these are the markets which we are looking into. Then there are markets like Saudi Arabia. Though we are having a 25% market share, we see there's still more growth potential in Saudi, especially interior Saudi.
Okay.
Because the generally focus is on this Riyadh, Jeddah and Khobar. But as you go to Yambu and other interior places, there's a lot of people having demand for these kind of mobile computing gadgets. So we would be focusing more into those segments.
Power retail is also picking up in a big way everywhere. So clearly there has to be a different strategy to how you target those consumers. But the consumption, I would say the patterns are very similar to the channel market and the retail, power retail. How do you target, how do you tackle how do you incentivize, or what is your strategy towards going to power retail?
So one good thing about UAE is there's not a single dominant power retailer. Like if you see the US, you have Best Buy, or in the UK it's Dixon's. They completely eat away the rest of the guys. Right? Having said that, the power retailers also can eat away the dealer channel because they have what I call as promotions every month. And some of the promotions are very high-end promotions. So consumers are attracted. The footfall goes into these power retail. Right? So we also, we cannot kill the dealer channel. They are the traditional channel. So if they played more smart, they can also compete with the power retail. So we try to make a balance between these two segments. So power retail, we do a kind of a calendar-wise support to them, be it Jitex or DSF, that's where they get more traction. And then the rest of the period we work with the channel to increase their sales also.
Okay.
We don't want somebody cannibalizing the total, another segment totally together.
Okay. One of the points that we had spoken, I had spoken initially, discussed was 2012 was a year of, basically where you took the top spot in the third quarter in IDC. And have you, since then you've seen growth, so I'm assuming that you're still in that same position.
Yeah, there were a lot of, I think from April onwards, there were a lot of socio-political situation which arose in this region. Like we had some, we had the Saudiization problem in Saudi, so the channel was badly affected there. We had Bahrain, some issues there. So general consumer confidence was all-time low, and it's moving into summer and Ramadan, it was all. So what we see now is the market would really pick up. It's going to be very buoyant in the next 6 months.
Okay.
So the lost ground which we had in the last 3-4 months will be made up in this, and we have some of the exciting products which we never had before. We were a bit late in bringing in some of these products, but now we have the products, especially the 7-inch tablets, because it's completely, this market belongs to the unbranded segment. So when the major PC brands or the notebook brands come in with this product, there's going to be a complete shift. And I would say it's a peace of mind for the consumer. You can't equate a $50 Chinese tablet to a tablet from brands like Toshiba or other brands.
So, you mentioned that there's an influx of a lot of level 2, level 3 products in the same range of spec as such. Maybe the quality is not up there. The other thing that you notice is that most of these products are being seeded online. So it's easier for a person to sit at home, go online, have a look at the products. It's fine, it's only 200 dirhams, I'll spend it, I'll probably use it for a couple of months and then throw it away. How are you tackling that? I mean, clearly the online e-commerce pattern is booming. You're seeing people coming and going, but then it's still there. So how are you tackling that?
No, online presence, like now our survey shows almost 40% of the actual shoppers do buy from online. Either one purchase or other is happening online, mainly for garments or less on electronics. But as these trends continue, people start buying electronic gadgets online. So we recently tied up with tejuri.com. That's one. And Toshiba is also developing his online portal. So we should be seeing that. It's not that will compete with the channel, that might complement the operation. We may not sell it directly, we might select few partners who would be our execution partners. Because we don't want to be like, we're going to be head on with the channel. So we would be creating the portal. We will authorize few channel partners who will be working with us to transact the commercial transactions. So
you're probably looking at a Middle East-wide network, but just not limited to one country. So that will probably work in well in your favor. So thank you very much, and I wish you a lot of luck with your future engagements, and I look forward to seeing the Excite 7-inch.
I hope it creates real excitement for us. I mean, it would.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.